I want to take a moment to praise all the men in this room who are putting their best foot forward and rolling up their sleeves to save the community. Your efforts will not go unnoticed this morning. I've been there with you. I know what it's like to go out there and do the best you can. Make a living, help the community, and not receive a thank you. No fanfare. I know what you're going through, brothers. And I want to acknowledge you this morning. So let's give yourselves a round of applause. I want to acknowledge you. See, I believe we need to lift men up. I think it's one of the biggest challenges why men don't go to church. Because they don't want to go in and sit down for an hour and a half and hear someone tell them what they're not doing and how short they're falling. That's what we think of. A lot of men don't want to come here because they don't want to hear that week after week after week. We need to exhort you, men, to keep going. There's too much at stake for you to quit now, so keep on going. And let me encourage you, brother, to not get frustrated during the process of fighting the system. That's where we lose men. Men get frustrated with the process. We get frustrated with the system. We just simply walk away and give up. Too much at stake for you to do that. See, I believe we can turn the tide. It starts with one small sacrifice at a time of your resource and your love. Share your story with the next generation and watch your seeds grow. I was just talking to Brother Herb about this earlier. He was talking about he'd been wanting to write a book. He was asking me about what it took for me to do mine. And I told him, man, you just never know how your story is an answer to somebody's prayer. Somebody out there is looking for answers. Each one of us in this room has the answer. You just have to go and share it. And I told him very bluntly, if you don't share your story, he's being selfish. No one's going to tell your story like you can. And people need to hear it, so don't be selfish. Share your story. Share it with one young person and watch them grow with that experience. Cut back. Give up a luxury item this week and use that money to bless someone. Buy a gift certificate for a single parent. Help him or her pay a bill. Buy some groceries. Remember, what you make happen for others, God will make happen for you. We have to lead by example and not be afraid to speak out on key issues like Corey reform, which many of our young men face. Many of our young men, yes, they made mistakes. The only difference between them and you and I is that they got caught. They got caught. But they're willing to turn their lives around. They need some brothers like us on the front line saying, give these brothers a chance. Don't judge him by what he did in the past. Look at, he's a new creation. He's a new man. Give him a chance. We got to speak up on health care. We know our president needs our support more than ever before right now. Let's speak up on health care. Let's be in the front line of issues. Never lose sight that God made man first. And his first assignment was to tend the garden. We have to assume our roles as the gatekeepers, protectors, and role models. Men, we have to get involved in every aspect of healing the community. We can no longer stand on the sidelines and hope that they will figure it out. How many of you know when you think they will figure it out, they never get it done? It's like that if you're in your home, in your neighborhood, there's a bottle laying in the street. You figure out, I won't get it, someone else will get it. They'll get it. And before you know it, a week goes by, no one's gotten it. Not only do you see the bottle, you see more trash build up than what was there. You could have gotten it. You could have stopped the flow right there. They will never figure it out. You've got to get involved to figure it out. Now, you're probably wondering how you can make a difference. First, you must learn to be a reliable man. Be someone that people can count on. Keep your word. If you say you're going to do something, do it. See, I have a real problem with people who say things that sound good. You know, especially when you deal with a tragedy. You know how we do. If there's anything I can do, just let me know. Now that sounds good. It sounds comforting. But how many of you know when people call you and you email and follow them, they don't get back to you, they ignore you, like they ain't said that before. And then when you see them, what do? They look down. They look down. They don't want to look you in the eye. Why? Because they know what they said. But when you called them, they didn't answer. See, I think it's better if you not say anything than say you're going to be there. You're going to be there. See, that's a principle that I believe in. If I say I'm going to do something, I'm going to do it. Now, what you do with it from there is on you. But I'm going to go to bed at night knowing I kept my word. And that's what we got to become. We got to get back to that. And think about this. If, as an adult, you are disappointed when someone doesn't keep their word, imagine how a child feels. Even 10 times worse. Secondly, be a man of exemplary character. People will respect you and follow your lead. The world is looking for stand-up men. Men who won't purposely compromise their integrity. We're in a time when we expect men of power to fail and fall. We are no longer shocked when we learn of extramarital affairs or bribery charges. We have to get back to upholding certain values and morals. Be someone people can trust. And also, you never know who's watching you, especially people who are not saved. See, you're not going to win souls just by talking to people. Amen. You're going to win them by your actions. They're going to follow your ministry, what you do. They're going to watch how you interact with them on work, your co-workers, how you treat your wife, how you treat your children, how you treat others. And you serve, and you volunteer in the church. People are going to follow your example to Christ. They're not going to listen to your words. So let your witness be a testimony. Lastly, I'll just encourage you to get involved. See, your efforts can make all the difference. Don't try to change the world. That's too big. Start with your family, your neighborhoods, and your community. Volunteer at the community centers, the schools, and prison systems. There's a young woman, you may have heard her name. Her name is Patrice O'Neill. She runs 2 wonderful programs in the Boston public school system. The first one is a reading program called Reading with Friends for men to come in and read to pre-K to 3rd graders. Think about that. Men reading to pre-K to 3rd graders. And she's always looking for men of color to come in and read, to show our kids that we are and how important that is. That's a great program. Another program she has is geared towards 5th graders. And it's called They Made It, So Can I. And all she asks for you to do is to come back and share your life story of how you got to where you are today, starting from the 5th grade. Just share that. Again, you never know whose answer to prayer your story is. Become a mentor. Teach our youth about self-respect and teach them about respecting others. You know, we got a lot of young kids in our neighborhood. We live up in Randolph. A bunch of young boys running around. And one day I pulled up in my driveway, and these young boys came up to me. They're about 8, 9, that area, and they were on bicycles like a little gang. They came up to me, and one of the ringleaders, his name is Jaden, he looked at me and said, "Hey, what's up?" And all his little boys were around him. I said, "Come here, young man." I didn't yell at him. I said, "Listen, let me tell you something. Whenever you see me, you say, 'Hi, Mr. Price.' I said, when you see my wife, you say, 'Hi, Mrs. Price.'" And he looked at me with his mouth wide open, and his eyes, and all his boys are standing there looking at me like the same thing. And he said, "Okay." So now when he sees me, he waves and says, "Hi, Mr. Price." Think about that. You can do the same thing. He didn't walk away angry. I didn't yell at him. I just gave him an education right there. Now, you're probably saying, well, his mother should be doing the same thing. And she could, but she is busy with everything else. She's a single parent. She has 3 other kids she's looking after. He needed another man to tell him that. And that's where you can make a difference. Monitor what your wives, children, and grandchildren are exposed to. Express your emotions, brothers, with the understanding that it does not make you a sissy or a punk. Create a business that will employ people in our community. Start with Give to a foundation that is working on behalf of the downtrodden. Hold our politicians accountable. Next Tuesday, you have a chance in the city of Boston to change and vote in new leadership. It goes beyond than you just putting your vote in. You've got to hold them accountable. Get involved. This is our community. They need to know that. You put them in there. Spend your dollars wisely. Invest in the building of our community. You know, I talked about earlier about the billions of dollars that we have in our community. You know, Brother Jawanda Kanjuba said it best. Billions of dollars is too large a number for us to figure out. You can't phantom billions of dollars. Here's where you can break it down in even simpler terms. Look at your checkbook. Where are you spending your money? Start there. Look at your checkbook. Are you investing in businesses in the community? And I'm including the church as a black business. Are you putting money in the community? Are you supporting artists? Are you going to go out and buy Brother Herb's CD? You know, are you going to buy? Are you going to support the business? Look at your checkbook, and you can see where those billions of dollars are flowing out of the community. And lastly, and this is the tough one for brothers, when we get together, put your egos in check. This is the hard one for men. We all want to be chiefs. It's tough to be the Indian. When you come into these doors, come into these walls, brothers, drop your titles at the door. Just be real. Let's be men. So men can get together, get after it, and sharpen each other. And iron sharpens iron, we can get something done. Right? Let's get after that. Let's stop wearing our titles and coming in here being pretentious, man. Drop that. Drop the ego. And don't get me wrong. Don't disrespect me. You know, it's the way you do it by attack. But let's get back down to the issue and drop all our egos, put it to the side, and watch what happens. Watch us continue to build our community. In closing, I hope you walk away told today not upset or instead of despair, but with the understanding that I'm simply challenging all of us to do a better job of stewardship for the things that God has entrusted to us. He is looking for his people to step up and to step out, show his glory. He is counting on men to lead the way. Brothers, we have taken the phrase ladies first too literally. If we as black men continue to lead the way and demonstrate our love of God, self, family, and community, the world will no longer look at the electing of an African American as president as some sort of miracle. And that will be a direct result of the seed we plant today. No, they will see that as an expectation. And I believe that if we get to that point, brothers and sisters, one day you're going to hear these words. Job well done, good and faithful servant. Thank you.